Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Gavin Sykes of ProVu Communications, and I'm joined this morning by Scott Foster of Telecommunications. What today is going to be about is a run-through of all the new products that 2N have released into the market over the past few months. This is my first webinar, sorry about that. If you have any questions, there is the chat window available at the right-hand side. Also, I'm noticing there are a few attendees where we can't see your email address. Obviously, we're going to want to send out information and the recording of this webinar to people. And so yeah, if we can't see your email address, then please send us over an email. You can either do that to gavin@provu.co.uk or contact@provu.co.uk. Hello, Simon. So what we're going to be looking at specifically is an overview of the intercoms, the indoor touch and the access control units. All of these are currently available on the market. There are, however, new IP force and safety models available. A closer look at the access control unit and where you would use each item and how we fare up against the competition. All right, Scott will be taking over most of the information by now. So yeah, Scott, away you go. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the presentation this morning. We're going to keep it down to about 10-15 minutes, and then at the end, Gavin will open up the microphones for any sort of questions and answers. So the first point I want to go through is the IP intercoms. We've been manufacturing IP intercoms now for the last 5 years, so they're not new to the market, but every day they're evolving. We're bringing out new features, new functionality, and new interoperability. So at the top there you can see the picture of the range. We've got Verso, which is a modular system. We've got Vario. We've got IP Force and IP Safety, which are vandal resistant units, and the IP Uni, which is our entry-level system, where we're putting things out in volume for for sort of universities and hospitals, things of that nature, where budget is king. Let's have a look at the verticals that we traditionally sort of work in. If I start on the right here, then basically access control. IP intercoms have never been an access control product. However, if you have an RFID card reader on there, or if you have a keypad, it's more commonly being used now as an access control system. And what we do using a vegan interface or one of the voltage outputs, then we communicate the information to a traditional access control system to say that somebody has entered the building. So so there is full integration into a traditional access control system if it's IP based and you want to have that complete solution. Next, as we look at a different vertical here, then we've got the CCTV market, the security market that's well established for many decades. Everywhere we go, there's a CCTV camera watching us. So as part of this IP convergence, we are looking at how we can stream video into a CCTV system, specifically, you know, a network video recorder or a VMS software platform. Then using something like OnViv or the RTSP server, we can stream into the key brands: Milestone, Bosch, Genetec, OnViv, Enact, and basically it's using the OnViv S profile or the RTSP server, which gives us lots of different codecs. So it's tried, it's trusted, and we've got many intercoms now that sit on the CCTV platform. Our traditional business, our traditional vertical has always been telecoms. We've been manufacturing telecom solutions for the last 25 years, so there's not much on the marketplace that we haven't integrated with. I've listed Cisco, Avaya, Broadsoft, NEC, Alcatel, but there's many more, whether it's hardware based, whether it's software based, whether it's physical equipment, or whether it's hosted in the cloud, 3CX, things of this nature. We've tested the majority of them, and because it is just a SIP intercom, it effectively sits on their network as another SIP extension. It's the equivalent of being an IP phone, basically. So every day we're finding new things to test with. So as of today, we haven't really found anything that we can't integrate via SIP. And the new vertical that we've got here is our sort of home automation market. We're finding IP intercoms are becoming more and more part of the home automation solution. So we're used to streaming video around the home, we're used to closing curtains, switching on the heating and air conditioning, but people want to incorporate the security element of that. So it's not just locking the door now through the home automation system. They want to receive an incoming audio or video call from the intercom on the perimeter, comes through to their TV or comes through to their tablet or mobile phone. So a lot of the main key players like Control4, Avant, Crestron, AMX, they're all building SIP compliance into their home automation platforms now, which means that we seamlessly slot into their systems. And so it does give us full audio, full video, remote opening and closing of the door. I've listed a few of the ways that we do that: SIP, OnViv, the vegan interface. HTTP seems to be the main way of integrating those systems, but it's a boom marketplace for us. Some key points on our IP intercoms. Like I've said, they're all SIP based, so any SIP system that you have, I'm sure we can integrate into it. Our systems, our intercoms can work peer-to-peer, so we don't need a PBX, we don't need a hosted system. We can literally just go from intercom to an IP phone, or intercom to a PC, intercom to an app or a tablet, or a mobile phone, something of that nature. So it does give us, for the smaller installation, where people won't go for a PBX or won't go for a hosted service, it does give us a key advantage that we don't need a SIP server. They're all PoE, they're all can take a 12-volt input to power the device. They all have one output on it to switch a door. You can have up to 4 outputs on some models, but they're basically a 12-volt output, or they can be a relay output volt-free, so that you can switch in a big lock like a mag lock or something of that nature. So extra switches, we could be switching on a light, we could be sending a signal to a PTZ, we could be switching on a buzzer in the control room. We always supply an intercom with 1 output. You can go up to 4 depending on what the requirement is. So that's just an overview of IP intercoms. For all of you that are ProVu customers, you'll have seen over the last 3 years how we're really sort of bringing out new intercoms every sort of, or new features every month, every quarter, and it's well established within the ProVu platform of products. The next thing we're going to look at is the new indoor touch. For many years, people have been saying, we want to have a tablet, we want to have a phone that the intercom is going to call, and this is, it's in theory, it's a very good solution. But what we find in practice is that people's phones or tablets, they lose power and they switch off. Definitely with Apple devices, they're designed to go to sleep. And also there's the key elements that these are portable things. So they either go out of range of the wireless, or they get taken out of the property and they go with somebody to a business meeting for the day. So we've designed the indoor touch that really is a permanent touch screen. It's a 7-inch touch screen display. It sits on your wall. It's, you know, it's part of the local area network, so the end user will have this in, you know, one of their rooms or many of their rooms. Definitely when we do the home automation market, then we'll see one in the hallway, we'll see one in the kitchen, we'll see one in the bedroom. But we're moving into more and more applications now, like hospitals, where they don't want a traditional IP phone on the desk because it's got a telephone cord on the handset, and that can also be a health and safety risk for places like hospitals and care homes. So we're finding more and more an actual touchscreen display designed to work 24/7, mounted on the wall, connected into the local area network is a lot more effective solution. So the indoor touch now, this is the sort of second generation of it. It was launched in March, but we've just launched a new version of it. It can sit as a peer-to-peer device. It can sit as a SIP proxy, so it can register onto your PBX. It can register onto your hosted service, and you know, we could build it into a very small solution, or in this case, on the picture here, we can have a concierge connected into a PBX where we can transfer calls from the concierge up to an indoor touch unit if it's a large apartment blocks. So we're constantly evolving on this product. We're learning as we do bigger and bigger installations. It uses an Android platform, so it runs the 2N app on there. However, if you've got a third-party app that you want to run there, it can be unlocked and you can put other applications on there. So, so we do have installations where they have a CCTV system and they want to run the, let's say it was Milestone, for example, because we mentioned that earlier. If it was Milestone, we could have their app working on it so that it's doing the door entry, but it's also part of the CCTV system so that you can get your video wall of your cameras up on there. For people in the home automation sector, then people like Control4, Savant, you know, Crestron, they all do their own apps, all sort of can be Android or ISO. So we actually went for Android because we actually found that there's a lot more apps out there for Android. So so it is possible to open it to third-party apps. There's a few links here how to install apps. There's one here for, sorry, let me just see if I can go backwards. There's one here for ones that we've actually already tested, and then there's another link here as well for the network requirements. Remember, this is like an IP phone, so if you've got 2 or 3 of these units on there, it's not a problem. If you've got 500 on there, you just want to check your bandwidth capability and your type of switches that you're using, just to make sure that it's a seamless installation. So that's the latest indoor touch. Let's have a look at the new Intercom models that we've got out, the new IP Force and IP Safety. So these are basically new derivatives of the models that we've had out for the last 5 years. This is our vandal resistant unit. If you see the videos on our YouTube channel, you'll see that, you know, people have put them on fire, people have taken a baseball bat to them, and they're still perfectly fine, still fully operational. So the black one is the IP Force. That is an audio only or audio video unit. There's a number of buttons on there. You can have a keypad version. The camera has always been a VGA offering, so it's standard definition 640 by 480. We've now gone to a HD camera, and the reason for that is that we're finding that the intercoms are becoming more and more part of a CCTV system, and therefore the CCTV market has gone totally HD, and they're requiring that standard of camera built into it. So it is a 1280 by 960 resolution in there. It is streaming 24/7. It's got a wide-angle 135-degree lens on there, and if you just look at the picture of the camera to the left and the right, there's infrared illumination in there for the night vision and low light scenarios. Let's have a look at the whole range as a sort of vandal resistant side. Then we've basically introduced a new amplifier for the audio circuitry. So it used to be a 1 watt class amplifier. It's now a 10 watt amplifier. So we can actually get 94 decibels out of these speaker units. So if you were doing a factory, if it was near an air compressor, if it was in a very noisy environment on the side of the road or something like that, we can blast the audio out of here so that the person at the intercom can actually hear what's been said and what's been spoken. So the 1 watt amplifier is still available. ProVu still have all of that product on their website and still have all of that product in sight. We're not discontinuing the 1 watt amplifier version. It's just that we won't be putting it on our marketing materials from now onwards. We as a manufacturer will be promoting the 10 watt version, but we don't foresee for the next couple of years any sort of intention to discontinue the 1 watt amplifier version. The other advantages that this gives us is that it actually takes the intercom from an IP65 rating up to an IP69 rating, because the speaker that we use is actually encapsulated on the 10 watt version. So from that point of view, for really nasty environments, then the new version is absolutely excellent. Okay. Let's move on to the access control unit. This is a totally new product for 2N. It is intercoms have always been classed as sort of a bridge between telephony and access control, but now we've actually brought out a dedicated unit. This is the access control unit on the sort of top left there. It is a totally IP solution. It's not analog, it's not 4-wire or 2-wire sector that traditionally has been out in the marketplace. This is a purely IP solution. It's to take advantage of all the new builds where the CCTV systems and the security sectors are all going IP. And it's also a very quick and easy add-on to anybody that's got a local area network that's already got an IP infrastructure. So if we have a look at the unit, the key features is that it's a card reader based system. So you've got an RFID card reader in there. You can have 2,000 cards in the database. The card reader is based on 13.5 megahertz, so that's the MyFair standard that we see out there in the security world. There is an option to have NFC, so if any of you used Oyster cards or contactless payment with your credit card, then it's a very similar sort of scenario. NFC would be loaded, would be enabled in the card reader, and then you would have an app on your phone for NFC. As soon as you put your phone near the card reader, if you're in the database, it will grant you access. So a very nice feature, all based around RFID. There's 3 inputs in there, so your input can be your push to exit button, it could be an alarm input, it could be a fire alarm input rather than a burglar alarm, it could be a set of door contacts to confirm that the door is closed. So you've got 3 inputs. You've got 1 output, that's for your electrical lock. That's a few hundred milliamps and a 12-volt output, basically. If you need to switch something in larger, like a mag lock, then there's also a set of relay contacts on there, normally open, normally closed, volt-free for you to step up into a bigger circuit. As for the look of the unit, it's surface mounted or it's flush mounted. It is designed for indoor or outdoor use. It's got an IP54 coverage. It's got a tamper switch built into there. It's IK8 for the anti-vandal resistant rating. So we truly have designed this for inside or outside, flush or surface, however you want to mount the unit. From a connectivity point of view, you literally just need one cable. You need a UTP cable in there that has PoE on it, and that will power the unit, and it will just sit on your network as per any other endpoint that you may see. So just as a brief, that's a sort of quick overview on it. You can see there from the picture, there's a couple of lamps on there. Green to say that you've been granted access, red to say that you've been denied. And it'll come up red if your card is not in the database. You'll just get a red, and you'll get a beep to say no access. So the actual speaker in there really is just for beeps. It's not for audio of any nature. The only nice feature that really used from the speaker is the fact that when it initially starts up, you can get it to tell you its IP address. So if it's on a DHCP server, it can tell you its IP address. If it's set in static from the installer, then it will also tell you its IP address, which can be very useful if you're coming back to an installation and you need to find out what the IP address of the unit is. So, okay, so that's the basics of the access control unit. Let's have a look at a few scenarios. We've basically designed it initially as a standalone unit. So you literally go into your web browser, type in the IP address, and you will get into our little server software program, a web server software program, should I say, that will allow you to configure it, to set up all of the cards, to basically have the unit working as a standalone unit, unplug your cable once you're finished, and it just works there 24/7. So nice and easy configuration. Just need basically a laptop. However, you can scale it up. So, you know, if you've got 100 units or 1,000 units, right up to 2,000 units, we may want to use our Access Commander software, and that's a server-based system that will allow you to configure multiple units. It will maintain the firmware of all the devices. It will set up all the user profiles. It's just a way of configuring a batch of units very quickly and very efficiently. So this is where we've got the PC in the center there running our software. We could have the system switch in external doors, and for that we typically put the little security relay in there just to make sure that nobody's tampering with it. However, you might want it for sorry, let me just get back here. You may want it for internal doors, for a data center, for a warehouse or something of that nature, and in that scenario we probably wouldn't use the security relay. So we can have a mix of different sort of scenarios, a mix of different rooms, different usages, basically depending on how you want it to be configured. How we'd normally see it is intercoms around the outside, access control on the inside, and we've seen typically a ratio of around about 1 to 6. So 1 intercom on the outside, 6 access control units on the inside. There's no real philosophy behind that, but that's just the trend that we're seeing at this moment in time. Regarding the sort of access control side of things, there is an optional time and attendance software. So you can have people monitored when they come into the building, you can have people monitored when they come out of the building, or you can have them monitored for both in and out. So there is a full time and attendance package behind it. It give you all your employees, give you all sort of days of the week, days of the month, days of the year, and you could literally do a full report on somebody's attendance. It is going to run on the Access Commander software that I just mentioned. It's basically an add-on feature to that software. You need to have a server running 24/7, just so that obviously it can monitor people coming in and out, and then you can download the data into an Excel spreadsheet or something like that if you don't want to view it online. Okay, so that's typical user scenario. Let's have a look at the competition. 2N is a Prague-based company in the Czech Republic. So Estella is our sort of biggest competition there for access control, not for intercoms and PBXs and things like that, but definitely for access control. So we've really sort of matched up against those guys to make sure that we are competitive. So our reader, you can see here, €350, a lot more expensive than their reader at €220. But by the time you put a door controller in, which is this big panel that we see here on the right, then you can see that we get an excess of €500. Our system doesn't need this door controller. All of the switching, all of the mechanisms for the door lock is actually built into our reader, and therefore we don't need all of this extra wiring, we don't need these extra panels, we don't need these extra power supplies. So straight away, even with the security relay that's only needed for external doors, you don't need it for the internal doors, then we're already, you know, sort of €80 cheaper. If we take away the security relay, then that takes another sort of €70 off there. So we try to focus on a market, which is the IP market. We've tried to focus on a nice clean solution, but we've also tried to make sure that from a competition point of view that we're price competitive. So just a quick overview of our competition. We'll update this information as we really start looking at the market and other competitors in the UK. So to finalise with a summary, 2N offer, you know, a full range of audio and video IP intercoms. They're all SIP based. Our typical markets: offices, factories, schools, hospitals, student apartments, you know, small office blocks, and really now we're looking at the sort of home automation side of things. There's no real, you know, we're stronger in this market or that market, we can do this type of installation, we can't do that type of installation. We're typically finding the range of products that we've got something for every type of application. Integration with IP phones and with the 2N indoor touchscreen, so anything that's SIP based we can integrate with it, and for phones and tablets we have the full array of apps as people would expect. We've got the new access control unit, which is standalone or integrated solution. So we are learning with this product, we're finding some great new opportunities for everybody to make some good margin on reselling it. And all these products that we mentioned today, they're in stock with ProVu in Huddersfield, and the technical guys give their normal sort of full support on the products. So just a quick summary for you, just a quick insight. What obviously we can do is make sure that you get this presentation if you've shared your email address with us. And Gavin's now going to sort of open up the microphones for any sort of questions, and I'll try and answer them as well as I can. Over to you, Gavin.
Thank you very much, Scott. So yeah, as he says, we're just going to open up for any questions now. Myself and Scott are here to answer them. Away we go.
No, because it's kind of a matter of security. I think if it doesn't close.
The password looks great here, so it's unlike in
yeah. So if anyone has any questions, then feel free to ask them. All microphones are open now.
Let's go for time, first of all. Shall we? Meeting? Let's ask.
Yeah.
I need to check the mail.
Okay, I'm going to go to practice. Right?
Sure.
Thank you everyone for attending, and what we'll be doing is sending out a recording of this webinar either this afternoon or tomorrow. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, they can email myself or contact@provu.co.uk, where we will answer any sales questions, any technical questions that you may have about any installations that you have now or in the future. Thank you very much.